Hey everybody, it's ScomletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today I'll be playing another quick draft of March in the Machine. Just doing my usual thing where I go from the highest stakes drafts possible, the Arena Open Day 2 drafts, to the lowest stakes drafts possible. Just a quick draft. These are 5,000 gold or 750 gems, so nice, cheap to get into. Don't have to be super worried about your record. And should be a nice change of pace from all of the competitive drafts of late. So without further ado, let's get into our draft where I'm just going to slam dunk a pack 1 pick 1 Monastery Mentor here. 3 mana for a 2/2 prowess that is an army in a can, producing more 1/1s with prowess every time you cast any non-creature spells. So pretty fun, pretty powerful card. For other really strong cards, you could definitely pick one pack 1 in most packs. We have a really efficient removal spell in black, and a solid value card out of Inga Rune Eyes, just a solid value card in the set's strongest colors. So those are the best cards. Outside of Monastery Mentor, I'm a big fan of Furnace Gremlin as well, but I'm kind of partial to Rakdos Sacrifice Nonsense. That's probably not in the top 3 cards in the pack, but do like to give that card a shout out. Very strong pack to follow it up. Elvish Vatkeeper is a phenomenal value play. That being said, it doesn't fit super well into a Monastery Mentor deck unless we are splashing a 3-color pile of some kind. So probably not going with that. We have 2 options that are really clear ways to go after the Monastery Mentor. Both Kenra Spell Spear and Wrath Weatherlight Stalwart are cards that are going to also get an advantage from playing a bunch of instants and sorceries, running a bunch of instants and sorceries in our deck, which is something we already want to do with our Monastery Mentor, and these are both equally hard to end up in the deck because Wrath is basically monocolored here because we're already trying pretty hard to play white with the Monastery Mentor, so Wrath puts us to white-blue. It just adds one more color to our deck, similar to Spell Spear putting us in white-red. So I think I'm going to go with Wrath here just because you don't get as many opportunities to play with the Multiverse Legends cards, and this one's a really fun one that really works well with Monastery Mentor, because not only can we be casting a bunch of instants and sorceries in our deck, potentially getting the card draw off of Wrath, but Wrath has a secondary effect that's really good if we get a wide board state of 1/1s, so we could try to be like the blue-white Spellslinger deck here. It could be a fun place to try to be, so I'm going to scoop up the Wrath, I think. But yeah, for individually powerful cards in the pack, easily Elvish Vatkeeper, Kenra Spell Spear, and then probably like Wrath and Bola Slinger pretty tied there, but we'll go with Wrath, the unique Multiverse Legend card I haven't gotten to play with yet. Pack 1, pick 3 has a bunch of really solid stuff. Tangled Skyline, one of the best cards in the pack, but it would be pushing into a 3rd color right now. So we would probably have to ditch one of our first picks to head in that direction, but really good card for stabilizing, gives you a massive reach blocker, and could give the rest of your board state reach depending on how many Phyrexians you have in your deck or how many Incubator tokens. So Skyline's probably the best card individually, but we also have Alabaster Host Intercessor, which can help get lands when we need them and be a late game potential removal spell in our white deck, and Cyber Cryptomancer is really good at protecting valuable creatures for cheap, and yeah, it's just a really nice instant speed trick, and when we already have 2 creatures with really nice abilities we'd like to protect on the board, I think Cyber Cryptomancer is actually a pretty sweet place to be. But those are the top 3 cards in the pack for me: Skyline, Intercessor, Cryptomancer. 4th is probably Surveyor, just for staying open and being able to splash in some stuff, but pretty good pack overall. I'm going to go with the Cryptomancer here, though, try to protect our pretty sweet value engines. Well then, pack 1, pick 4 has some really fierce competition between the blue cards in the pack. Both are actually just perfect for this deck. So we're like a blue-white Spellslingers deck that also wants to try to get a wide board state to tap creatures and draw cards with Wrath or buff them up with Wrath. So Artistic Refusal is great in a deck that cares about instants and sorceries and can spit out a bunch of creatures to convoke it for cheap. And Preening Champion is great in a deck that wants to spit out a bunch of creatures to cast big convoke instants and sorceries. So it's kind of a chicken or the egg situation here. Do we need to get the board wide first, or do we need the big convoke spells to be able to cast later in the game? These are both phenomenal cards that are absolutely perfect for the deck, so really rough to see them both in the same pack. We love to get them both. I think there's enough solid kind of even just sorceries with Convoke, maybe they're not quite as powerful as Artistic Refusal, but there's a lot of good instant sorceries in the format, whereas really premium creatures that can spit out 2 creatures off 1 card, kind of hard to come by in blue-white. We have Preening Champion out of blue, which is the number 1. It's exceptional at doing that. And then there's only 1 in white that's quite a bit worse. The 4-mana 2/2 Knight that makes another 2/2 Vigilance. It's just a bit slower, and without flying, it's a lot less exciting. So Preening Champion is just the best card at spitting out a wide board state at common. So I think we gotta scoop it up when we see it, whereas Artistic Refusal is incredible. It is an exceptional card, but there are a decent amount of good instants and sorceries that are going to be nowhere near as good as Artistic Refusal, but can still fill that role later in the game, helping us draw cards off Wrath, helping us spit out things with Monastery Mentor. So I'm going to take the Preening Champion there, but I'm not super happy about having to pass the Artistic Refusal to take it. Not super happy with our pack 1 pick 5. Seraph of New Capenna is pretty slow, usually just plays like a 3-mana 2/2 flyer, which is a much worse version of Preening Champion, although potentially we are spitting out some tokens, so flipping this to the back half will give us a 5 power flyer when we sack 1/1s as we attack with it. So it could be Seraph here, could also be Inspired Charge. This might be the first deck in the entire format that I might actually play an Inspired Charge if the draft continues down this direction with cards like Monastery Mentor and Preening Champion. Still don't know about that though. This card is really, really narrow, whereas cards like Wrath can kind of do the Inspired Charge thing while doing a lot of other stuff. Like it's got an Inspired Charge just tacked on as an activated ability, so still don't think I'm super high on Inspired Charge here. I'll just take Seraph of New Capenna. I don't think any of the cards in this pack are super likely to get run. We could even get a bit speculative here, and in case we get cut off of white or blue, just take one of the best cards in the pack, which is definitely not one of the white cards. It'd be like Ichor Drinker in black or Chomping Kavu in green, something like that. Just a solid filler creature instead of a more mediocre filler card out of white. But I think I'm just going to stick to what I'm doing here because it looks really fun. Wrath, Monastery, Mentor, Preening Champion. We have a very clear strategy. So I want to try to stick to that and make it as good as we possibly can. Pack 1, pick 6, Phyrexian Censor is probably what we're supposed to take. It's a pretty good card for any aggressive or tempo-focused strategies. It can be an issue when you're trying to cast 2 spells in one turn, like if you have Convoke stuff and a bunch of cards that are triggering off of it, like our deck has. So there could be some issues, some conflicts of interest in running the Phyrexian Censor, and I'm also just never going to take this card because I really hate the card. I think it's super annoying and pretty poorly designed for a set with battles, because battles do not work intuitively with how you think they would. Even in the Arena Open Day 2, Draft number 2, that's about as high level as you can really get on Arena. That level of competitive gameplay, I still had an opponent cast a battle when they had their Phyrexian Censor on board, then attack it and try to flip the battle, and the censor says no because you're casting the back half of the battle after already casting the front half. That's your second non-Phyrexian spell. So I'm just gonna not take the card. I don't like that this card exists in the first place. So I'm just gonna take Tidal Terror here, even though Censor might be the best aggro pick. I don't think I want another Seraph of New Capenna though. We're already kind of gunked up three mana cards that are all better than or equivalent to Seraph of New Capenna, so I'll just take the Tidal Terror for the flexible 6-drop when we top deck it late, and Island if we draw it early. Well, Sigil Sentinel is a pretty fine card here in pack 1, pick 7. We could absolutely take it, probably end up running it unless we really get a lot of 3s. I think I would rather speculate towards black. If we're going to see a Merciless Repurposing pick 7, I want to leave that option open because I think this card is exceptional for any black deck that's even slightly slower. So basically any black deck outside of like Rakdos aggro, and even then you can afford to play a 6-drop or 2. So Repurposing is just a really, really nice removal spell that gives you a 3/3 as well for a 2-for-1 card. Just plays incredibly, and I'm going to take it over Sigil Sentinel, even though this card's more likely to make the cut. This is the way stronger card. For pack 1, pick 8, Halo Charge Scab is a solid card. It's at its best in blue-black, where you have a bunch of cards that mill each player, and you want your opponent to have 8 or more cards in grave, plus there are just a few more powerful instant sorceries battles to put on top with it, but it can still be fine for our blue-white deck here. Alternatively, since black did seem a bit open with that late Merciless Repurposing,
We could try to hop onto the black-white tokens deck with Sculpted Perfection here. It's going to be an archetype that plays a bunch of Phyrexians, so this can buff all of our Incubator tokens and just straight up Phyrexian creatures. And it's just a pretty solid card in general. I don't think I'm missing a whole lot not having Halo Charge Scab in a blue-white deck, so I'm going to continue down the speculative black path with a Sculpted Perfection here, maybe black-white tokens off Monastery Mentor as the potential pivot. Alright, I guess we're going to continue down that path because we don't see any blue cards here, pack 1, pick 9, but we do see the solid 2-drop Aetherblade Agent out of black. There's also Golden Scale Aeronaut, which is fine filler at the top end of any white deck's curve. But I think I want to continue down the black speculation, and Aetherblade Agent is like good filler. This is pretty mediocre filler, mainly just because there's a lot of really powerful 5-6 mana uncommons and rares and stuff you can try to get to replace the Aeronaut later on in the draft. So I'm going to take the Aetherblade Agent, just a lot less premium 2-drops, and you need a lot of those. Alright, Infected Defector it is. There's nothing here powerful enough to really be worth speculating off color, even though Defector isn't great. Now in Etched Host Doombringer, all of the blue cards have completely dried up. We still get a Swordsworn Cavalier pick 12, which is nice. This is definitely a real card for a deck that has some more knights, ideally a blue-white deck. That is the archetype with the most knights in it. And hey, all the white cards came back, so we're doing good on white, but blue dried up while black kind of remained a little bit with Aetherblade Agent and Merciless Repurposing. So we might be on that black-white pivot. Don't think any of these cards are likely to make the cut in the black-white deck, or the blue-white deck for that matter. I'll just take the Inspired Charge since no matter what we're doing, we're going to be kind of a token-heavy deck. Almost definitely going to get cut, though. And let's see what we open up in Pack 2. Well, we're going to be met with some tremendously hard decisions again as we get into Pack 2, Pick 1. We were hoping to open up like a really good black uncommon or rare after the way that the end of Pack 1 went. That way we could try to hop into the color that looked a bit more open. But we opened up two really powerful blue cards. We have Marshal of Zhalfir, which locks us into blue-white knights, or C-Double, which goes into any blue deck. I think I'm going to take the C-Double because it leaves us a little more open. It's possible, not incredibly likely, but definitely possible that we go blue-black here, seeing as our best white card is Monastery Mentor. The rest of them fall off in card quality pretty quickly, so maybe a blue-black deck splashing one Monastery Mentor would be fine. Plus, there's just a lot of really fun things you can do with C-Double. That Halo Charged Scab that we passed up on in Pack 1 combos with this, where you can make a copy of the Halo Charged Scab and then put the C-Double back on top of your deck, and you can just do that every turn for the rest of the game until your opponent mills out, which is a pretty absurd combo. And Halo Charged Scab is a common, so we're somewhat likely to get at least one copy by the end of this draft if I take it highly to go with the C-Double. So I'm going to take the C-Double. It's the more fun card, even if Marshall might be a bit more powerful and more focused. C-Double is just a card I have a lot of fun playing with, so we'll take the C-Double here. Still not 100% married to the blue. If we get past some sweet black-white card or something, we could still speculate on that, but this is going to make it more likely than what we were thinking at the end of last pack. Well, this Pack 2 Pick 2 is pretty sad because I don't think I can take Glissa here. We have 0 mana fixing spells right now. No dual lands. No Skittering Surveyors. We definitely need to pick up a lot to play the Glissa. Glissa is a very powerful card that I have splashed before. I think I would rather just take something on one of my primary 3 colors right now between white, blue, and black. And I think there the best card is Final Flourish for really efficient removal. We don't really have any removal yet, so I guess I have repurposing, that's pretty slow. I'll take the really efficient cheap removal, take the Final Flourish, a little sad. Open up that Glissa here. We're not even that tied to black yet, definitely not near green. Could still go for the Glissa if we want to get super bold, but I like the potential paths that we can take with our current deck rather than trying to be some 4-color mush pile. So I'll take a Final Flourish here. Alright, and here is our boy, Pack 2, Pick 3 Halo Charge Scab to go with our C double. So if I play the Halo Charge Scab, I put the C double back on top of my deck, then I draw the C double, cast it, copy the Halo Charge Scab, and late in the game I can copy both the Halo Charge Scab and whatever spell my opponent's trying to cast. So we just play whatever they play for the rest of the game too, so we gotta take this Halo Charge Scab highly when we've got that C double. Lock that combo in right off the bat. Now we have another efficient removal spell, Vanquish the Weak. This one is less flexible for sure than Final Flourish or Merciless Repurposing, but it is still good. Still, I think the better pick than Aetherblade Agent by a tiny bit. Not a lot, it's definitely one of these two. We certainly could have been Blue-White Knights here, would have gotten a Protocol Knight to go with our Marshal of Zalfir and stuff like that. But looks like we're going to be Blue-Black C-double combo, which can be a very fun place to be. Not a huge fan of Stasis Field when I've got 3 removal spells already that can just permanently deal with a thing instead of keep it on the board. We've got a Gloomfang Mauler for a land cycler, which is always good, or a Phyrexian Gargantua for really nice late game value play. 4/4 to get trading off with and draw some extra cards. I think I'll take the Gargantua as the uncommon, maybe wheel the Mauler if we're pretty lucky. Good grief, is this pack loaded? I want all of it. There's a Blight Reaper Thallid, which is a 2/2 that you then spend 3 mana on turn 3 to make it a 3/3 and a 1/1. It's the fungus version of Preening Champion. Then there's the literal Preening Champion, which is also incredible. Much less of a mana investment than the Blight Reaper Thal. This is 5 mana total over time. This you just spend 3, immediately get your 2/2 and 1/1. There's Temporal Cleansing for interaction. There's an Unsealed Necropolis for a really great late game play. For some great value. It also mills both players to fill that graveyard for C-double. Super good pack that I'd love to just... Honestly, if I could just take this whole pack and then skip the rest of my picks during pack 2, I probably would. Because if I end this pack with a Thallid, a Preening Champion, a Cleansing, an Unsealed Necropolis, a Flitting Gorilla, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 filler cards, that is super fine because that's 4 premium cards and 1 that's solid for this archetype. But obviously we can't do that, so I think I'm just going to take the Preening Champion here. The card is just so good and so consistent. I think I'm going to lock it in here. Interesting pick here, pack 2, pick 7. We could take a Scour Barons to help splash in Monastery Mentor if we want to be blue-black and splash in the Mentor, or we could just take Meeting of Minds, which works really well with our double Preening Champion, especially if we can have a lot of other 2 and 3 mana creatures go alongside it. It's a really nice value play. I think I'm just going to take the Meeting of Minds here. We might just be off-white at this point. Pack 2, pick 8, Expedition Lookout is quite solid for the blue-black archetype. You've got some ways to mill both players so that late game this becomes an unblockable creature, and early it's going to hold off the aggro decks for a little bit, as well as help convoke your spells like Meeting of Minds. So this is one of those cards that's kind of a hidden gold card. I think it's a pretty solid, pretty good card for blue-black. Pretty much unplayable in almost any other deck though, so really have to be the right deck for Expedition Lookout, but I think we are pushing into that blue-black direction where it's going to be great. Wingspan's fun, but a lot of our best cards already have flying, and we don't have too many threats to like throw this on later. And Flitting Gorilla is definitely more kind of filler at the 3 mana slot. We'll take the Expedition Lookout here. Alright, pack 2, pick 9. I'm going to scoop up an Ichor Drinker now. Another card that really helps convoke. It's really cheap, 2 bodies off the 1 card over time. It's good with Final Flourish because it gives you 2 different things you could sacrifice to the Flourish. Just a decent fan of the Ichor Drinker. Now we'll take an Etched Host Doombringer. Not the most exciting, but we got to get some filler in here. Same with Bladed Battle Fan now. Not a huge fan of Corrupted Conviction unless I have an unreasonable amount of expendable stuff. I guess I'm never going to run 2 copies of Corrupted Conviction, but being able to sack a 0/1 Cryptomancer after it's already done its job, or being able to sack an Ichor Drinker, or sack a 1/1 token from Preening Champion could be good. Maybe we don't need the combat trick as much. I'll take Corrupted Conviction. I think neither of these are going to be super exciting for this deck in particular, but we'll actually go for Corrupted Conviction this time. And we did wheel the Swamp Cycler, didn't expect that, but I'll certainly take it. take a Zalfiran Shapecraft, take a Seed of Hope, and at this point, let's go ahead and cut all the white and see how our deck looks as a blue-black C-double Halo Charge Scab kind of combo deck here. See what we're really looking for. Honestly, we've kind of got all of our bases covered. We can just take the best cards in the next pack. I don't have quite as many 2-drops as I want. I only have 3, but both of my 3-drops are premium. The Ichor Drinker's great. The 2s are all solid. I guess Cryptomancer is more of a late game play, so mainly we want some more like 2-mana creatures if we're lucky. Outside of that, though, double Preening Champion, we've got some biggies with Tidal Terror, Gloomfang Mauler, and Gargantua. We have the Halo Charge Scab C-double combo for the late game win con. We have good removal between Merciless Repurposing, Vanquish the Weak, Final Flourish. So we could use a little bit more of everything. Little bit more early game like 2-drops, little bit more removal, a little bit more mid-range cards. I guess we don't really need more 5-6 drops because we already are trying to win off Halo Charge Scab C-double, and we've got a couple of the land cyclers for some big dorks to play late too. So keep our eye out for 1, 2, and 3 mana good creatures and good interaction, but that's kind of what you're already doing in every draft, but those are the only things we really need. Other than that, the deck already looks great. So let's see what we open up for pack 3, pick 1, and luckily enough, we do open up a rare that fits into that curve really well where we want it. The Ayara, Widow of the Realm, is a 3-mana 3/3 that can sacrifice our creatures or artifacts and fling them at our opponent's face, and then when we flip her later can start reanimating them. Not actually the craziest thing in this deck, we don't have too many synergies with this card, but still pretty solid. Probably the best 1, 2, or 3 mana creature out of this pack, and there's no removal we really want. Failed Conversion's pretty filler removal. Aetherborn's definitely worse than Ayara. I guess if we have a ton of Incubators or a ton of flip cards, Omenhawker might be moderately better than Ayara, but more likely than not, Ayara should be solid here and we'll scoop her up. Alright, we're getting exactly what we want now, a premium 2/3 mana creature. This is kind of a premium 2 mana creature and 3 mana creature all in one, because it's a 2 mana creature that you then have to spend 3 more on later. So take the Blight Reaper Thallid, happy to scoop that up. Now we have another Ichor Drinker versus a Meeting of Minds. It's a little interesting. Don't think Ichor Drinker is the greatest card in the universe, but it does work well with our Ayara and our Corrupted Conviction. I feel like I'd rather just have multiple Meeting of Minds than this Corrupted Conviction. I kind of like taking a Meeting of Minds, cutting a Corrupted Conviction, going from there. Yeah, I think this is just great enough to take it over the Ichor Drinker. Not going to have too many more opportunities to find good removal. We're already on pick 3. Removal does tend to dry up pretty quickly in Premier drafts. I assume the same of Quick drafts. So let's find out. Fingers crossed. Probably only like 3 more packs where we might get a removal spell. So pick 4. We do get a removal spell. Excellent stuff. Scoop up a Final Flourish. Happily play that. This Assimilate Essence is certainly playable as well. Taxing for 4 mana is almost always going to counter whatever you're trying to target, and even when it doesn't, this card has a backup plan to give you a tiny little bit of value there, get a 2/2 at least. And then Render Inert is also playable. If you have a lot of battles, this can immediately flip a battle and draw a card. And I wouldn't play in a deck without any battles, but the thing that's really nice about it is if you're a deck that's running 2 or 3 battles and you're running a Render Inert, there is a backup plan sometimes where even if you can flip your battles naturally by attacking them, or you just haven't drawn any of your battles, maybe your opponent has an Incubator token that they've flipped into a really large Phyrexian that then you can remove all the counters from it to kill it and draw a card. So I like Render Inert when you've got some battles in your deck. Pretty fun, flexible card to have in the deck. I do love Oracle of Tragedy now. It was a big help in day 2 of the Arena Open. I did not even realize how much value the second effect of the Oracle of Tragedy could give me, because usually you don't care that much about shuffling stuff back into your deck. You're going to end up with, 20 cards left at the end of most games of Magic. But in the blue-black archetype with cards like Halo Charge Scab, you could have a lot of ways that mill both players, so that you get to the point where you're down to like 5 cards in your library, or
God forbid, like one card in library where you might mill yourself out, the Oracle of Tragedy can save you in those positions. And even if you're not going to die to mill, if you're down to 5 cards in library and you just shuffle the strongest 4 cards from your grave back in, that could give you some really active draws. So I like Oracle of Tragedy a lot. Although I don't actually have that many cards that mill both players in this deck. We kind of only have the Halo Charge Scab. So I don't think Oracle of Tragedy is going to be as good as it was in my last blue-black deck in this one. But I think it should be, it should still be pretty solid. Worst case scenario, 2 mana, 1/3, draw a card, discard a card. I'll take it here over Temporal Cleansing being the main competition. Oh, wow. All right. Well, this is going to look really nice that we have an Oracle of Tragedy in this deck because we're definitely taking the card that mills each player. Invasion of Amonkhet is a super, super quick way to help trigger your cards like Expedition Lookout and Sea Double that care about your opponent having 8 cards in their grave, because this immediately puts 3 in their grave with the mill and a 4th in their grave with the discard effect. So the front half is already solid value. Mill your opponent 3. Well, mill each player 3. That part usually doesn't do too much, but then have your opponent discard a card, have you draw a card. It's basically like a draw to, like a divination level of card advantage, which is super fine. And if you flip it, you're getting a 4/4 version of the best creature in a grave, which is absurd. Invasion of Amonkhet is awesome. I wish this pack were a little sooner so we might be able to wheel an Expedition Lookout or a Meeting of Minds, but it's late enough that they should both be gone when this is back. I think it's just going to be a Plains by the time we see this pack again. But Invasion of Amonkhet is spectacular. I would like more solid 2-drop creatures like Nezumi Informant, but I think having a second Halo Charge Scab for redundancy with Sea Double is going to be good in case we mill the first one, because Sea Double can't get anything back from our grave, and we didn't get any graveyard recursion outside of the Halo Charge Scab, so I'll take another one. Should be good. Alright, I suppose we can take in Assimilate Essence here, show off that this counterspell is actually decent. Not a big fan of Stasis Field or the Traumatic Revelation there. Definitely not going to play Aetherborn or Negate. Probably not going to play Omen Hawker, but we can take a look later and see how many activated abilities we have. Sometimes this card is just like a really juiced up Llanowar Elves, adding 2 mana every turn instead of 1 if you've got a ton of Incubator tokens. And flip creatures. Not a huge fan of either of these. I guess we're going a little bit wide with our double Breeding Champion to help convoke the Squadron, but a little bit of life gain never hurt anybody. I feel like either of these is likely to get cut. I'll go for the Aetherborn though. We wield the Ichor Drinker. I will happily run that. We got another Assimilate Essence back as well. We got the Temporal Cleansing back. Blue-black was wide open in this quick draft. We definitely found the correct lane, even if it is the same lane that we've taken for the past several drafts. It happens. Sometimes blue-black is just the best and is just always open because the colors are so deep. You just always get solid stuff for them. So here's a look at our deck right now. We've got a 50 card deck, so we get to cut 10 things out. I'm almost definitely cutting the triple Doombringer. We've only got 1 battle to play around with these, so there's 3 5s that drain 2, which is fine, but the most filler we have at the top end. We also said we wanted to cut that Corrupted Conviction since we have the double Meeting of Minds already there. I think I am going to cut this Omen Hawker. We count up all of the ways we have to spend that mana. We have 2 Incubators here, 2 flip cards here, another flip card that's 5 abilities. Basically 5 abilities in the whole deck. I guess it could land cycle one of these. It sort of counts, but not really. I don't think Omen Hawker is going to be sweet in here. We'll cut those 5. Still have to cut 5 more. Check out our... Oh wait, we'll definitely cut this this combat trick. It is nice that it draws us a card, but still don't think we're really a combat trick deck. We're at 16 creatures, 11 non-creatures. Don't need that many creatures for this archetype. Can cut that Aetherborn that was kind of filler.
I feel like we've got good card draw off of double Meeting of Minds, Invasion of Amonkhet style stuff already. Maybe cut Gargantua in the top end, and then maybe even just cut the land cyclers at that point. Let's keep that curve nice and low, then slam down Meeting of Minds, and our late game plan is entirely Halo Charge Scab C double. And to help us have the time to get there, we can just Halo Charge Scab removal spell in the early game. Seems pretty fine to me. I kind of still want the land cyclers in at least, but I could see definitely Gargantua and Aetherborn out. But the idea of having some kind of really big card to cast if I do flood out at 6 or 7 mana does feel nice. And the land cyclers are the most flexible ways to do that. We've got a lot of things to spend our mana on that make me kind of not want to cut a land even with the sort of lower curve and some land cyclers. It's like repurposing at 6 mana is a really big card to get to, same with the 5-drop. Really want to get to 5 and 6 mana frequently, but then there's a lot of positions late game where we could be casting a 3-drop and holding up a 3-mana removal spell or a 2-mana counter. Maybe I cut Vanquish the Weak here. We still have 2 Final Flourish and a Merciless repurposing to kill something on board, Temporal Cleansing to bounce something, and double Assimilate Essence for counters. Still a lot of interaction. And Vanquish the Weak is the least flexible of all of them. I guess Assimilate Essence, because it's a counter spell instead of a removal, is just inherently less flexible, because we have to cast it at exactly the right time. But it can kill bigger things than Vanquish can. Yeah, I think I'll drop Vanquish and 1 creature. Don't have much to protect with Cyber Cryptomancer. I could still use it as a dorky combat trick. But other than that, it's just here to protect Nayara or a Halo Charge Scab, I guess. I'll preserve the Halo Charge Scab C double combo. That could be tempting. It may be a bit greedy, but I like it protecting that combo. I'll cut one of these Ichor Drinkers, I guess. I mean, double Flourish is really good for them. We'll cut 1 Assimilate Essence. It's hard to always hold up counters. I think that's probably fine. Lowering down a decent bit on interaction, but there are 2 weakest pieces of interaction, removal / counters. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the deck as it is here. Alright, here we have a look at today's deck. It's going to be another pretty sweet blue-black convoke / combo deck. In the early game, we are dumping out tons and tons of creatures, convoking some cheap card draw spells, playing a bunch of cheap interaction to keep the path clear and chip in with preening champions and stuff. So really good value in the early game. Dump stuff out, draw extra cards, remove and counter whatever they're trying to do. And then in the late game, we have some combo finishers. We've got Tidal Terror and Gloomfang Mauler for big dorks that we could land cycle early as just generic large finishers. And then the double Halo Charge Scab with C double to try to completely lock our opponent out of the game. With C double, we get to copy a Halo Charge Scab, which can then put the C double back on top of our deck to cast it again next turn. So once our opponent has 8 or more cards in grave, anytime they cast a spell, we'll cast a copy of their spell, as well as getting a 4/4 on board, as well as putting C double back on top of our library and milling them too. So pretty absurd way to try to lock out a game. Pretty cool combo that is available in the format if we can pull it off. But I guess we'll find out soon enough if we can as we head into the gameplay and see how the deck does. Here we are for game 1. We'll keep the hand. I'm not a super big fan of it. We don't have too much going on, but getting an Ichor Drinker out and then holding up an Assimilate Essence seems fine. Alright, now we've got a preening champion on 3. That could be a solid early game plan. The 1/1 elemental to trade into the Ichor Drinker seems solid. Our opponent is on red-black sacrifice, Ichor Drinker into Scrap Chomper into Scornblade Berserker. That is an aggressive rollout from them. We get a 2/2 on board. No, because I'm not going to want to trade Thallid into Ichor Drinker anyway. Just assimilate essence, whatever they do. If I don't, I Tidal Terror for an island. And then we can Preening Champion next turn. Excuse me. Yeah, I'll definitely counter that. That's going to get bigger every time they sacrifice something. And then when that dies, it does a bunch of damage to me. So I will happily counter that. Take another 2 damage from Ichor Drinker. They can gain all the life they want. They seem pretty aggressive. We can probably try to take over the late game in this kind of matchup. Here's Preening Champion. This will allow us to double block the Ichor Drinker while having a 2/2 to block their other creatures. They are going to sacrifice the Scornblade Berserker to draw a card. And they're going to send in with Ichor Drinker, and we will declare the double block. Lose to whatever kind of combat trick they want. These little 1/1s are not that valuable to us. No combat tricks. We've gotten rid of the Ichor Drinker. And Voldaren Thrillseeker is the play. Going to put the counters on itself, so they now have a 3/3 on the board that they can sacrifice to deal 3 damage to any target. Gotta set up good blockers for a 3/3 then. Let's drop Expedition Lookout Ichor Drinker. If I had another swamp, that would definitely be the play, because I could go Lookout, Ichor Drinker, and Incubate off the first one. But if I want to do that here, I'm going to have no use of the 4th mana. I think that's fine, because I really don't want to double block the Thrillseeker with a Thallid and a Lookout. Again, because it's so valuable to flip that Thallid. So let's set up Ichor Drinker Expedition Lookout as the double block. Pyretic Prankster. If they flip it later, it'll force us to sacrifice something when it dies. Shouldn't be horrible for us because we've got double Ichor Drinker right now, so we'll have an Incubate token at worst. I guess at best. Well, now I can play the Thallid and flip it, and then I've got blockers galore, which is perfect. See if they want to throw the Thrillseeker at our flyer. They certainly can whenever they want. They'll just take the 2 damage for now. I would rather they not throw the Thrillseeker at the Thallid, but it would get the Thrillseeker out of the way, so I'm not going to not spend my mana here. Alright, they are not going to throw it at the Thallid either. Now we've really got the ground cluttered up. They only have 3 cards in their graveyard, but if I draw into an Invasion of Amonkhet, that'll put them at 7 cards in grave. So, depending on what we draw, we can get them a lot closer to 8 cards in grave than it looks right now. Here comes the Pyretic Prankster flip, so that'll trade into one of our creatures and make us sacrifice our Saproling if it gets in. Not going to get in though. Now we can play a Tidal Terror, which is going to be really good on this board state. We have a wide enough board to tap 2 creatures to give it unblockable while still holding up blockers. So the Tidal Terror is just going to be excellent in our deck with Preening Champions and Blightsower Thallids. Ichor Drinkers to give us a bunch of little 1/1s for the Tidal Terror. There's a Stormclaw Rager from our opponent, a very good sack outlet, lets them draw a card and get a +1/+1 counter on that for sacking a creature or artifact, so just a basically way cheaper version of the Scrap Chomper. They don't have to tap it either to do that. Send in the team. No. See, that'd be interesting, because I think I would just Tidal Terror, kill the Thrillseeker, and yeah, we just kill everything for free there. Oh, we drew into a Cyber Cryptomancer. Talk about a good draw. Now we can protect our best cards from removal. Put them down to 11. We're dealing 7 unblockable damage to them every turn right now. We still have a 2-3, a 3-3, and a 2-2 to block with, as long as I spend the 2 mana to flip the incubator token. As long as we crack some eggs, make some omelets. Beamtown Beatstick's a really nice card. I've been a pretty big fan of that in this format. +1/+0 and Menace, and you get to create treasure tokens as you hit your opponent. Really nice for the Rakdos sack deck, because you can sack the treasures to cards like Stormclaw Rager and Scrap Chomper. But this is also a format with a lot of decks that want to splash in a third color, and treasure tokens can help you do that pretty well. So I'd be forced into a double block to block the Goremonger. But I could still double block it with a 2-2 and a 2-3 and only lose one of those cards. Then we just sacrifice a 1/1 Sapperling, chew the trigger. So I think I am going to kill everything here. If they try to do any weirdness with Thrill Seeker, we can Cryptomancer. But I don't think they will. Okay, they are going to try to kill Preening Champion. Then we can Cryptomancer here. And that will be excellent for us. I'd actually rather sack the Ichor Drinker than the Sapperling, since it's not attacking in any way. Sacrifice the creature that replaces itself. At this point, I think we're sending in the Blightsower or Thallid for extra damage. Alright. They have to chump block with the Scrap Chomper. They go down to 3, and we will pass the turn. I'm going to play my land here because I do have Meeting of Minds in this deck. And if I draw into that, I could end up wanting to spend 4 mana to cast it, and then drawing a land and another 4 mana spell, where I would need to both play the land and tap all 4 to cast it. So in decks with a decent amount of card draw, you should pretty much always play your land out, unless you're specifically playing around like a discard spell from your opponent or something. Just so you don't get stuck in a position where you've been holding onto a land all game rather than playing it for land drop, and then you're drawing into a spell that's too expensive for you to cast because you had to spend 4 mana on your card draw spell, and now you don't have the additional 3 or 4 for whatever you drew that you would have had if you could have played 2 lands that turn. If you catch my drift. Either way, that whole spiel out of the way, we are going to start off 1-0. Opponent on the Rakdos aggro deck. We just stabilized pretty well because they did not get a ton of mana to be able to dump their hand super efficiently. So we kind of just get to play our big unblockable nonsense and get there in the end. We're going to start this draft off 1-0. Alright, here we are for game 2. Definite keep here. Got some early game and late game. Not going to be super aggressive or anything, just kind of chilling and setting things up, trying to survive whatever our opponent's initial onslaught is going to be. Swordsworn Cavalier. Well, talk about an initial onslaught for sure. Draw a card, discard a card, see if we can find a land, maybe discard. Actually don't know. I'm definitely going to play Invasion turn 3, maybe Invasion into Cleansing into Scab. We discard Aetherblade Agent here. Should probably discard Gloomfang Mauler. 7 mana is very far from now. See dropping Aetherblade Agent to trade into another creature of theirs sometime soon instead of Invasion of Omniket. Discard the Gloomfang Mauler. I was gonna say I would happily block there. since that's a card that could get first strike on future turns and we couldn't block that well. Really good draw here, Preening Champion now. I'm just going to run that out then. Give us some sweet blocks here, even if they immediately kill the champion itself. We'll get some value out of this. They are going to Island Cycle a Tidal Terror. So they have one card in grave currently. Invasion of Amonkhet's going to put 4 more into their graveyard. We're going to 1-1 to block the 3-1. If they don't give it first strike, so I should probably chip in for 1 damage. Yeah, we should be able to get our opponent to 8 cards in their graveyard if we draw into a C-double pretty quickly, because that's 4 more, that's 2 more right there. Okay, they're going to get the first strike, Protocol Knight. Very, very nice here. Okay, 4 mana up. 2 mana for Aetherblade Agent to trade into Protocol Knight, and I can also Temporal Cleansing afterwards. However, I can't Temporal Cleansing and keep the Aetherblade Agent untapped. So maybe I just play the Aetherblade Agent and pass? Not the best use of my mana here. I already have fine blockers for Cavalier if they don't play more Knights. Could take 1 swing from Protocol Knight. I'm still at 14 after that. I guess we can just set up for a turn and play Invasion of Amonkhet. 1 more land, or just an untapped Preening Champion gives us Aetherblade Agent plus Cleansing in the same turn. And we did hit a land. Now I could go Ayara and Aetherblade Agent if I want. A lot of options how I want to spend my mana next turn. We've got a Final Flourish in the grave we could put back on top with Halo Charge Scab if we really need removal. We'll just see here. There's the cut short for the Preening Champion. Our flyer is out of here. We'll take 3 damage from Protocol Knight, go to 14. It's based on mana value. Yes, mana value of the sacrificed card. Interesting. Double Halo Charge Scab here. What I could do is what I think I am going to do, which is go Ayara, Aetherblade Agent. Pass. I kind of like keeping the Oracle of Tragedy to cash in with Ayara for a later time. And keeping the 1-1 to block the Cavalier, so that I don't have to block Cavalier with the Oracle. And then potentially we could play Halo Charge Scab and throw it at the Invasion next turn. Unfortunately, they have the Seal from Existence on Ayara, so we can't just throw 5 damage at Invasion of Amonkhet next turn. We'll have to put in some work towards flipping the battle. That's okay. Because they only have 1 card left in our hand, and we've already got the board state under control. We have Agent trading into Knight and our 1-1 trading into Cavalier. So currently we're just basically up 3 cards, like Oracle of Tragedy and this card. If these are equal, that's tied on board and 3 extra cards in our hand. Well, I guess we're about to find out what's in their hand here. Some kind of combat trick that might save Protocol Knight. The +1/+1 protection from a color. No, it's the prevent all damage dealt by black creatures. And red creatures. Wow. Yeah, the pre-sideboarded out there. Well, Halo Charge Scab completely stops their attacks, and I'm still up on cards, so we're still winning the game right now. At the current rate. Oh, there's the C-double. Oh my god, we got C-double Halo Charge Scab. Let's play it safe. Hold up the Oracle of Tragedy. If I can keep C-double Halo Charge Scabbing, they're just out of it. They've got 9 cards in graveyard. They have to immediately top deck removal for Scab here. Even if they hit it, we've got another scab. Invasion of Xerox, they can put the scab back to our hand. Sure. I can play the C double first and then the scab later. Because the scabs put the C double back on top of my library, and they're a blue-white deck, they're not going to have a way to exile a card from my graveyard. So Invasion's going to go down to 1. I will draw a card, discard a card, because I'm not going to shuffle away that C double. And see if we can hit a land here so I could C double and hold up Cryptomancer maybe. That'd be awesome. Did hit a land, but it's not a blue land. I guess I just play a scab. Pick up a Final Flourish or Assimilate Essence. Could hold up either of those while holding up C double. Sure, I'll go Final Flourish. Next turn we're holding up a Final Flourish and a C double. Copy whatever they cast, copy a Halo Charge Scab, and have a Final Flourish and lock things out from there. Alright, so here we go. Get ready to see the most annoying games of Magic you could possibly see. Are you ready to see the C double lockout? Because it's going to happen here. I think we're taking a Preening Champion with this. Could take a Norn's Inquisitor. Rather just take a Preening Champion. Get the board state super far in our favor. Okay. If our opponent casts anything, we'll copy it and our scab. If they don't, I'll still just copy my scab. Could copy my Final Flourish and scab here. Or a Cryptomancer and scab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's not going to be lethal. Let's just copy the scab. Alright, they're going to scoop it up. Got the Halo Charge Scab lock, and it's taken me a while to figure out if I want to double up my removal spell and kill their thing, or just go for the Halo Charge Scab lock. So they are very over it, and we're going to be 2-0 heading into Game 3. Okay, here we are on the play. Definitely need to hit a blue source. But I'm going to keep it here because Aetherblade Agent's a good start. And if we can flip the Aetherblade Agent, theoretically we could cast Meeting of Minds off of it later. But mainly we just need to draw a blue source, and then we're golden. Cyber Cryptomancer, that is terrible. Now it's draw an island or bust. But still, one blue source gets us all the way there. We're casting literally everything in our hand off a single island. Yikes. Well, it keeps working out about as poorly as possible. I don't think this was a particularly greedy keep, though, because again, one island gets us all the way there. We didn't need to hit anything other than that. Now they've milled 2 of our islands. Yep. The casual 6th swamp before the first island draw. Technically there were 2 islands in the middle there, but they got milled. Our opponent mills 2 more islands again. Alright. Now we get to play some magic. Drawn to a Tidal Terror. Drop our island down and see what we want to do from here. We have 5 mana up. If we're playing Convoke spells, we have 6 mana up. I play Preening Champion, I get 2 more creatures. This is enough to Meeting of Minds at instant speed. Can also Final Flourish, sacrificing a 1/1 to kill the Expedition Lookout. Can also double block the 4/4 with a 3/3 and a 2/2. I do have to worry about their Cyber Cryptomancer in their hand. They can't afford it right now, but they would be able to afford it once they're attacking. Could Oracle of Tragedy some cards back to keep their card from attacking here. Make my draws better too. Actually seems kind of legit. Keep the Lookout off of attacking the battle. Five cards in grave now. We still have Meeting of Minds or Final Flourish up. Wicked Slumber, that's wicked annoying. They still can't attack with Lookout. If I kill the Halo Charge Scab here, then they can't kill the Invasion of Volgrowth the next turn. If I play Final Flourish and sack Oracle of Tragedy though, that's 7 cards in grave, so if I choose to draw a card, discard a card, that'll be 8 cards in grave, which is not good. So I have to Final Flourish, sacking the Phyrexian if I'm going to Final Flourish here. Doesn't feel ideal, but I think it's worth it to have them not flip Grandma on us. Hello, Iker drinkers. So they put Invasion of Volgrowth at a 1. They're just planning Halo Charge Scab, Unseal, and Necropolis loops for mill. It's not going to work well against a well-timed Invasion of Amonkhet from us. So we probably keep Invasion of Amonkhet in our hand to try to get them to accidentally mill themselves out. Probably... They're going to Halo Charge Scab to mill us 2 more, so no matter what, Lookout's going to be able to finish off Invasion of Volgrowth. Unless I Temporal Cleansing it. I feel like we're definitely on Preening Champion. I'm just never going to be able to hold up an Assimilate Essence when I only have 1 island. Because they've milled 5 of ours. Yeah, I think it's just Preening Champion double incubate here. I can Meeting of Minds or flip one of the incubators. 7 cards in grave. Another Wicked Slumber. Sure. By Meeting of Minds, I'm at 8 cards in grave, and then Lookout can attack even if they don't play a Scab. We should force them to play a Scab, flip a 2/2 here. They're down to 11 cards. 12, because they'll put one on top. Wicked Slumber's coming back. Grandma's getting flipped. Another preening champion. Yeah, we've got Meeting of Minds and a token to flip here. Could Temporal Cleansing Grandma back into the deck. Seems kind of legit, but then I take 6. I'm going to take a lot either way. I think I'd rather be on Meeting of Minds here. I gotta hit some crazy stuff. Like C double, but I need to hit C double and island. Oh my god, how does this keep happening? They've milled 6 of my islands? I've got 1 island left? I have 2 left. 6, 7, there's 2 in there. I'm running 9 islands and 8 swamps. This is just the unluckiest mana mills I've ever had in this format. Just really bad for us. But 5 power there, so the Cryptomancer can't win the combat. They have to play another removal spell of some kind. Grandma's gonna get real big here. Cool. There's the removal spell of some kind. Got an Ayara. We got the island for a C double, which they have not milled. Another Halo Charge Scab. Kind of have to Temporal Cleansing Grandmother. And then Assimilate Essence the Cyber Cryptomancer. Then we might still be dead. Because they have a Wicked Slumber coming at the minimum. I can respond to a Wicked Slumber with a Meeting of Minds at least. Take 4, 5, 6, 7, go to 1. Not going to be great. If they have a removal spell, I think we'll die. guess not. Even if they clear the whole board, we take 7. They have to have another backup card. Is that for the best? Well, there's so many instant speed tricks that could ruin this. It's probably best to just do that. Maybe even Oracle of Tragedy. Shuffle in Gloomfang, Meeting of Minds, Temporal Cleansing. I don't think so. I think I just put the 1/1 there. Down to 6. They play an Ichor Shade. It's going to get a counter on it, sure. They can tap 2 of our creatures with Wicked Slumber and try to kill us off that here. We've got a C double now. And a Merciless Repurposing. Don't have the mana to do both of those. I can only do one or the other. They Wicked Slumber 2 of our creatures, I Wicked Slumber 2 of theirs, and make a copy of their Halo Charge Scab, putting a C double on top of my deck. But then they mill my C double with their Scab. This game is just going to be a whole pile of nonsense. I have 4 mana to do as I wish with. None of it's blue though, so I gotta just play Ayara. Seven cards to 6 cards. If they play their Scab, they go down to 5 cards. They're not going to play anything. Hate that. 4 mana to do this. I don't have anything I can do with the rest of my mana. Pass turn and hope for the best. With C double up for survival. For survival attempts, or Merciless Repurposing if C double's not going to do it. Six cards to 6 cards. I think that's just fine. Like, if we're still alive, I think we just let it resolve. So if I waste the C double now, I could find myself in a position where they mill me out and I can't do anything at instant speed to not mill out. They're going to pass turn. So I feel like we're both holding up instant speed ways to not get milled out is what's going on here. I can mill them 5 cards next turn, even if they counteract my C double. And they have 5 cards in library. So I think I just try to get them to do a thing now to stop the C double shenanigans. Or maybe I just repurposing here. Full control mode so I can C double during my upkeep if they mill me out somehow. Maybe Oracle of Tragedy is their plan. Final Flourish, sacrificing Oracle of Tragedy. Maybe I hit that. Artistic Refusal. They're going to have 2 mana up after the Artistic Refusal. That's enough mana to Final Flourish. Sacking an Oracle of Tragedy still. Hmm. Do I have another island left in my deck at this point? No, my last land is a swamp that's left. Because they've milled every island, so Tidal Terror doesn't even do anything, so we go to my turn. Draw. Main. Three cards in their library, so Invasion of Amonkhet can single-handedly mill them, but then I don't have C double up. I can have it up in my upkeep. I can copy an Oracle of Tragedy, or a Scab, or an Oracle. There's 3 different cards I can copy to not get milled out next turn during my upkeep, so I think I just Invasion of Amonkhet here. Another Artistic Refusal. They just choose both? They chose both? Then Halo Charge Scab. GG. I guess they could have... I don't know what they could have that would put something on top of their library at instant speed, unless they have their own C double in their deck, and then this game's just ridiculous. Just never gonna end. Oh my god, alright! Well, that's a pretty big recovery. That's a 3-0 after that one. The blue-black mill mirror match. And we grind it out with the C double Halo Charge Scab combo. That time we really got to show off the power of that combo, because first time our opponent scooped pretty quick, but this one, like, we were really far behind when we started potentially pulling that off to try to find the victory, and it still got us there, so really ridiculous stuff when you have those 2 cards together, so absolutely saving us from a pretty glacially slow start at the beginning of that game. So we're going to be 3-0 now, heading into game 4. Here we are for game 4. Super keepable hand. Nice early game stuff. So we're just going to roll it out. Ichor Drinker, Preening Champion, and Ayara, Widow of the Realm. I love Ayara. She's been a 3-mana 3/3 so far in every single game with no text. But she does keep getting, like, tapped down and bounced and stuff like that, so I guess that could be part of that. Halo Charge Scab C double. You love to see it. Playing against green-white here, they tend to be aggressive decks with a lot of +1/+1 counters. I will absolutely trade a combat trick into my Ichor Drinker. Trade 1 card for 1/2 of a card. And that's exactly what happens here. Trade their full Arachnoid adaptation for 1/2 of my Ichor Drinker value. Now I can drop a Preening Champion blocking the Guardian with the 2/2 and the Thespian with the 1/1. If we can make this game last long, we're going to have C double Halo Charge Scab, so we can aggressively trade off our cards like Preening Champion, even though it's a little more valuable than a Sunblessed Guardian because of the flying. I'll still trade it down. I guess they're pretty tied in value, because this can turn into a card that makes duplicates of itself later in the game. So I think it would be a fine 1-for-1 trade either way, but a really good one when we know we have such a good late game coming. And I can cast my C double aggressively here because I'm going to put it back into my deck with Halo Charge Scab. They're on green-white, which isn't a color that can manipulate our graveyard. So I can just hold up C double here. Copy my own champion to get blocks on the Sunblessed Guardian. Or copy whatever spell they cast if they cast something sweet. Cool. Flip the Sunblessed Guardian. And we're going to hope they don't have a Cosmic Hunger here for instant speed removal, because I am going to go for the C double block here to stop them from flipping Invasion of Zendikar. Alright, excellent. That's going to be 2 2/2s on the 3/3 and a 1/1 on the one that's going to die anyway. So we get to kill the actual card and stop the battle from flipping. And now we've got multiple Halo Charge Scabs, so we just start doing our thing. We know what we're doing for the rest of the game. Time to find out if our opponent can defeat us just goldfishing C double and Halo Charge Scab together. They're one more cast of a Halo Charge Scab from being able to double up the C double. So next time I C double, copy a Scab, they'll be at 8 cards in grave, and then we just copy every spell they cast while we're making Scabs. Cool. Not really worried about haste. I'll just have a Scab to block the 2/2. You know, I'm so locked into win with C double that I should probably just hold up this Scab here. So I don't have to cast C double until my end step. I can just block the 2/2 with a 4/4. And again, this is where the backup Halo Charge Scab comes in so handy, because one of the only things they could do to stop this is like killing the Scab in response to us trying to copy it, but if they do that, I'll just play another one and pick up the C double with that one. And then they'll have to do that again to get out of it. Pass turn, sure. We'll keep doing our thing. They're going to have 8 cards in grave now. Tandem takedown? Well, they tried, which is admirable. But here's Halo Charge Scab 2. Make sure they don't flip this battle here. No attacks. I guess they can port and tracker flip it in 3 turns, but when it flips I can copy it. Even things out. Get for 2. Nope, we'll get a trade, sure. Sure, I'll take whatever spell you want to cast. Wary Thespian, fine by me. Pick up our C double. I mean, at this point, we're seeing like pentillion, like seeing way more than double. I don't know how many times I've cast this spell today, but it's a lot. Alright, and at this point, should let them flip that. Just kill them in 2 swings, I think. Yeah, certainly. I think it really matters what I put on top, because I'm just going to mill it with another copy of Halo Charge Scab. It's probably better to keep it than mill myself more right now. Tentacle Brawler is fine. We'll copy that because it's bigger. And they are going to scoop it up. We've got a ton of 4/4s. They're going to have 2 blockers. We're going to have 4 4/4 attackers, only one of which needs to connect to deal lethal combat damage. So we are going to be 4-0 now off of the Halo Charge Scab C double combo, heading into game number 5. Here we are for game 5. Opponents on the play, so we're on the draw, just needing to hit any land to get to Preening Champion and Invasion of Amonkhet. We have a Final Flourish to help protect us till then. I'll definitely keep it. Both colors starting off is wonderful. We do immediately hit an island. Very, very nice start. Iker Drinker turn 2 instead of turn 1's a little awkward, but can't win it all, can't have the perfect hands every time. The hand is solid enough even with the late Iker Drinker there. Play the Preening Champion so I can double block Sanctifier with a couple 1/1s. Trade into the Sanctifier or their combat trick. Alright, no attacks. I don't love that if I play Invasion of Amonkhet I won't be holding up Final Flourish. If I wait till next turn I can play Invasion and hold up Final Flourish, which is nice, so I could just play Temporal Cleansing for now, but nothing I really want to bounce. I think I'd rather just play the Invasion here. Poke it for 2 and try to finish it off next turn if possible. Assimilate Essence is the draw. Uh-oh. Am I getting Convoked here? Yep, cut short it is. Invasion of Mohg. That's the best Invasion of Mohg I've ever seen. Usually the card plays pretty poorly, but pretty nice on a board state of a bunch of 3/3s here. Could stop it from flipping. God, battles are just such a steamrolling nightmare. If this flips, we're just locked out of the game. I'll have 12 power and toughness on board, and it'll keep expanding. Ooh. I think this invasion just kills us. Best Invasion of Moag of all time. Guess I can assimilate it when they try to flip it if they cast anything before they flip the battle, but they probably won't. They'll just spend the 4 mana. Can incubate and then I can Final Flourish for -6/-6 and assimilate Essence. Guess I could Final Flourish the Bloomwielder Dryads and pay the ward cost on it. Yep, they attacked it with 2 creatures, so it's gonna flip unless I chump block and throw removal at the other card, but then I don't have the mana up for Assimilate Essence. I think I let it flip. And we go for the Final Flourish on it. Zero spells here. Wanted to pass through to their main phase to see if they cast something. They cast nothing, which means probably some kind of hexproof nonsense. Some kind of, maybe the white spell that gives the whole board hexproof or something like that. No, we do kill the Dryads at least. Now I can Temporal Cleansing Sanctifier to remove all the counters from it and still have Assimilate Essence up, take 6 for a turn, then we play a 4/4 against 3/3s. Maybe we stabilize from there. And I get to play the Scab and hold up Essence. Okay, well, not if they play a flyer, then I'll just get the Assimilate Essence out of the way. Okay. Don't think I have anything in my grave strong enough to want to redraw it off the Halo Charge Scab right now, but if I hit a C double, we'll put that on top. Yeah, no, I think I'd rather draw blind than hit another Final Flourish right now, because I have nothing to sacrifice for it, so it would be -2/-2 to some 3/3s. So I think I'm going to decline. I guess Temporal Cleansing would be okay. Sure, Temporal Cleansing's actually probably better than drawing blind. It just permanently kills the Knight token. Hand must just be like all combat tricks or something. What combat tricks exist in this format? There's +2/+2 out of white, +2/+2 in green. It's pretty much all +2/+2. Like Fertilid's Favor, or the +2/+2 flying, the +2/+2 untap and reach. I have to just block. I've got a backup scab anyway. I guess just in case it's another Fertilid's Favor that puts counters on something, I'll block the token so that the token gets bigger, since that's what I'm going to kill with Temporal Cleansing. If I do. Elspeth's Smite? Okay. That's fine. Elspeth's Smite is a-okay. We'll play another Halo Charge Scab then. No C-double. Decline. Alright, no tricks. Is this where we start stabilizing? Potentially. Now they're forced into a bad double block. Or we get a copy of the best creature in a grave. Which is probably honestly just our preening champion again. As usual. Yeah. Just a 4/4 preening champion here. No, not another cut short. Another cut short. That is pretty devastating there. That would have been a phenomenal turn for us if we could connect. War Historian. Now they have great double blocks for a 5/5 menace, because they go block with 2/3/3s, they only lose one of them. By Temporal Cleansing, I still have the mana up for Oracle of Tragedy, and then they can double block with these two. I only kill one creature. Yeah. No matter what I bounce with Cleansing, the board state is good at protecting the invasion of Amonkhet here. I think I'm just going to shuffle in 4 great draws at this point. Yeah, those are all phenomenal draws. I guess now I can't Invasion of Amonkhet a preening champion, but I can still get a Norn's Inquisitor, which is basically a preening champion on the ground. A 4/4 and a 3/3 instead of a 4/4 flyer and a 1/1. Do I slow them down with a Temporal Cleansing? Or do I hold for a second? I think I'm going to hold on to it for a second. Another land. We're chilling. Oh, I should have played this. My deck has draw spells, like Meeting of Minds, that I might need to tap 4 mana for that and then draw land another spell. Getting a little testy here. I kind of want a Cleansing. Just in case instant speed removal at the end step. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 into a combat trick would kill me. I'm getting testy. Now might be the time. Sure. War Historian goes to the bottom. Timberland Ancient is the play. Preening Champion is the draw. We've got a 5/5 on the 6/5. We have blocks elsewhere thanks to Preening Champion. Nine mana after I play this. That's enough to play pretty much anything I would draw into off Meeting of Minds at this point. Might want to make them think of playing around an instant, if possible. Portent Tracker. Well, that's going to sit there and make our Invasion of Amonkhet super large. Oh, hey, Ayara. It's a pretty sweet draw. Sack ability is at instant speed. So at instant speed, I can flip Invasion of Amonkhet now. I can also sack Oracle of Tragedy at instant speed, which is great too. Untap a land. Oh, I see that we are dead. So, with AR, I flip Invasion of Amonkhet and take 7. Could get a Death Toucher, 4/4 Death Touch on board. Okay, we're not dead. Or I get a 4/4 and a 3/3. Load up multi-blocks. Not actually sure what's the best. But we've got ways around the Copper Host Crusher. Multiple different ones. It would involve losing our Gloomfang Mauler, though. Yeah, which means that they would get a good attack with Timberland Ancient. In that case. I think I just pick up the Death Toucher. Plays around a combat trick. If I pick up the 4/4 and the 3/3, then I can go 4/4, 3/3, and 2/2 on Crusher, but then they could combat trick and completely ruin that. Could also just block Timberland Ancient with the 5/5. It's taking 9 damage on board, then throw Preening Champion at the Invasion of Amonkhet and try to flip it next turn off, cracking an Oracle at it too. But then I'm taking a lot of damage from Crusher 2 turns in a row. Yeah, I don't love this, but I think I need to flip it right now. And I think I'm just going to take the Death Toucher. I could just pick up the Gloomfang Mauler again as a 6/6 and block Timberland Ancient. Or block Crusher with a 6/6 and a 2/2. Could get a 5/5 that then trades into Ancient, puts a +1/+1 counter elsewhere. No, I have to just kill this Crusher. I'm just going to kill the Crusher with a Death Toucher. Take a lot of damage. Take 10, go down to 6. But I've still got Ayara hanging around. Okay, Invasion of Zendikars, whatever. Be another creature soon enough because they have the Portent Tracker. Oh. All of our creatures enter the battlefield tapped now. They get to sack a creature, land, and draw a card every turn. That'll do us in. Oh, they have 2 more spells there still. Good grief. I guess they just now hit the Black Source's How. That was just stuck in their hand all game. They had to pull it off of Invasion of Zendikar and untap it for the tracker. I see. Well... start reanimating a thing every turn, but I'm at 6 life. Artifact or creature from grave to battlefield gains haste. But it comes into play tapped now. So flipped Ayara does nothing. We get tapped creatures on the board and then exile them during our end step. That's really bad against Thali and Gitrog. Okay. Yeah, that's not the thing we can do. I think we just die. Too much beef here. Lasted a lot longer than I thought. I thought it was over after they got the Invasion of Mogg to immediately flip. Get a counter on their whole board, flip that thing, get the 3/3 that puts counters out. So, I think it's still a respectable run from our deck here for the first loss. We didn't get absolutely steamrolled we're fighting from behind, but we're a more defensive late game combo-y deck. We're pretty much always fighting from behind and just stabilizing late. So, not too unhappy with how this game played out, even if it is gonna be a loss in the end. Any shot here? Get anything good accomplished? I guess I can do this. Go to 1 life and kill the Knight of the New Coalition. See if we top deck in anything that matters. Although I guess any creatures we top deck come to play tapped. Nah, yeah, this Thalia's making our list of potential outs astronomically small. Oh, it's 0. It's 0. It's mana value, not power. So we just died. Oops. Had to sack Ichor Drinker there to go to 1. But yeah, that game was pretty much already over. We were just going through the motions there. Again, because any creatures we draw into just come to play tapped. Alright, obviously the play was to sack Ichor Drinker to gain the 1 and be at 1 life. What was our list of outs here? If they have Stone Cold Nothing, then Merciless Repurposing could get there. We could Repurposing Thalia, flip a 3/3, and then we'd have the ability to block Timberland Ancient with 2 3/3s. We'd have to let Ayara die at that point. And then we need to draw just straight gas from that point on. I think that's about it. I think Merciless Repurposing was pretty much the only out. C-Double wouldn't do it because whatever we copy comes into play tapped. We just die. It was going to be at 1 life after that. So we need something that would immediately be able to block everything, which would only basically be Merciless Repurposing for the ability to get rid of Thalia and give us a blocker to double block Ancient. Yeah, I think that was it. We had an out there, but obviously didn't manage to play to the out because I misplayed the Ayara sack, but that's okay. Wasn't super likely. Probably about time for a loss there. 4-1, heading into game number 6 now. Here we are on the play for game 6 with a nice quick curve to start it off. Ichor Drinker into Thallid and then flip the Thallid on turn 3. Great removal to back it up later in the game. Now I've got a Preening Champion to run out on turn 3. The curve keeps getting better. Our opponent has nothing turn 1 yet, nothing turn 2 yet. They could have the bounce spell. Return one of our creatures to our hand for 1 mana and surveil 2. Okay, they are not going to cast it yet. We'll try to drop a Preening Champion. They could have the 2 mana counterspell. They are not going to cast that either. Zalfiran Lancer will be their first play. Could Final Flourish that. Could also just Invasion of Amonkhet here, sack Blight Reaper Thallid to deal 4 to this immediately, which is pretty much definitely worth it. We get to reanimate Knight of the New Coalition. That is so worth it. Oh my god. So they get to kill our Blight Reaper Thallid here, but we get to hit the invasion for 4. Which means we get a 4/4 and a 2/2 this turn, on top of drawing a card, making our opponent discard a card. Invasion of Amonkhet is a nuts magic card in positions like this. This is one of the things that I've said multiple times that I really don't like about battles as a card type, at least sieges, because that's what all the battles are in this format. They're all sieges as the subtype. That makes me a little worried, and I don't want to see them too often in future sets. I don't want them to be, really don't want them to be in the Lord of the Rings set. I want that set to have its own unique mechanics and stuff. I don't want to see more battles there. But it's that like when you get a really nice start where you're already really ahead on board, it just really feels like it expands the disparity in board states greatly. Like the rich get richer kind of thing. The player who's already ahead on board is now monstrously ahead when they get to play Invasion of Amonkhet and immediately flip it. It's just like an inherent thing of the way they're designed, that's just how it's gonna be. Which I don't love. I don't love cards that are like, if you're kind of winning the game, now you're super winning the game. Win more sort of cards. Invasion of Xerex. Pretty good here. Kill our 2/2 token. I think I just killed a Lancer. They've only got 1 blue mana up. I don't think that's enough to protect anything here. Looks like nope. Assimilate Essence is the draw. Now I can hold up Final Flourish and Assimilate Essence. Got a 4/4 to block the Protocol Knight. Even if they attack Invasion of Xerex with Protocol Knight, I could Assimilate Essence on it to force them to pay 4. In which case they just don't have the mana up to play any more creatures, and then I can just Final Flourish the 2/2 flyer they'll get out of it. Okay, they're going to play a Citadel Sentinel, so I'll just counter that instead then. And they are going to scoop them up here. We are going to be 5-1 now, heading into game number 7. Here we are for game 7. Great hand here. We start things off with Oracle of Tragedy, which we can then use to help convoke a Meeting of Minds on turn 3. We might have to just trade it into this Thespian to keep our opponent off of flipping their battles. Green-blue have a lot of battles in the color pair. I'll drop a Tidal Terror here. Already got 4 lands. Okay, War Historian. There's a C-double. We've got C-double Halo Charge Scab, so probably are on team play defensively. Play for the long game here. Send in the War Historian, nothing I can do about that. Take my 3 damage. 4 colors naturally: forest, island, plains, swamp. Perfect mana drawn from our opponent. Unless they have a 5-color card in hand, then I would say maybe not quite perfect. Just counter that. Get it out of the way. C-double whatever they try to cast next turn, so we both have a copy of it. Otherwise, I can just Meeting of Minds. Play something cool and large so we can both have a copy. That is neither cool nor large. Well, let's draw 2. Before I have to choose what I discard. Oh my god. Those are some draws. Invasion of Amonkhet's going to fill 4 cards into their grave. Really get some work done on that C-double. Cleansing might just be too much mana here, but so is Ayara. Ayara could insta-flip Invasion of Amonkhet later though, which is nice. I don't think anything on board is something I want to Cleansing right now. I ditched that. Aether Blade Agent is the draw. Would have loved a land so I could Ichor Drinker and still hold up C-double. Guess we're going to spend 1 turn not holding up C-double. So I can have all the blockers that I need. Aetherblade Agent for War Historian and Ichor Drinker for everybody else. C double can still copy their spell if it's a permanent by just copying it on the board. I guess not if it's a like big battle or something. You can only copy creatures on the board. Blighted Burgeoning. They've now got 5 colors. Now we've got Halo Charge Scab C double. Now that they have 5 colors, I really want to hold C double up. At least this one turn. If they don't immediately cast something huge, then I'll stop holding it up and actually play my other spells. But, like, they can't attack at all on the board if they don't have an additional spell right now. Because I just block there and block there. They just deal 1 damage, but I gain 1. I trade my 1/1 up into a 3/1. We've already got the board state locked up. Let's make sure that they haven't been waiting on hitting Wooburg. Okay, they have not been waiting on Wooburg, so I will cast whatever I want next turn then. Which I guess is a Preening Champion. If that's the draw. Although, they have 2 cards in hand, Invasion of Amonkhet's probably pretty dang sweet. Gets C double closer to the double up. By a lot. It could draw me into a land. Ooh, or mill me an Ichor Drinker. Didn't really hit anything good out of their grave. Okay, that was reasonable. Timberland Ancient is the play, just a 6/5. Super fine. Can flip a 2/2 and still cast a C double. Worst case scenario, we just use C double as a removal spell. We can use it really freely now because we have 2 extra copies off of double Halo Charge Scab. I guess I might as well stop all the damage. Actually, I should have put Ichor Drinker there because I would have gained 1 life too. Or went up a life instead of just not taking damage. Portent Tracker. I think I'm going to play around a board wipe. They are pretty actively just dumping everything whenever they draw it. So we'll flip our thingamabob immediately. Slap a C double on top of our library and go from there. As you do. They have a lot more cards than us, but we can C double copy an Oracle of Tragedy. And with C double Halo Charge Scab, I'll always have a C double on top of my library if they don't mill it. Four mana for that? Yeah, I can play Preening Champion. Actually, maybe Ayara would have been better to flip this Invasion of Amonkhet. Could see that having been the play. They've got 9 cards in grave. Now is when we do the C double lockout. The double up to completely take it over. Invasion of Muragonda. I think I'm supposed to do this. Oh, we milled their Hidetsugu and Kairi. That's not going to be fun for them. Kill the 3/1s. They don't have anything big enough to kill the Halo Charge Scab. The original one. Yeah, they're just going to scoop them up. C double Halo Charge Scab is absolutely disgusting. The majority of our opponents, after they saw us copy one of their spells and our Halo Charge Scab and put the C-double on top, have just conceded on the spot, which is pretty fair. We are now 6-1, very far in the money out of this quick draft. It is 750 gems to play. We got 850 and a pack no matter what, but we're only 1 win away from another 7-win run. Just gotta win one of the next 2 rounds. Let's see if we can pull that off as we head into the final boss, round number 1. Here we are in what may be the final battle with an excellent hand. The issue here is that we don't have a black source, but Oracle of Tragedy lets us draw a card and discard a card, trying to find it, and we can discard Ichor Drinker to it for good value. We did immediately hit the black source, so we don't need to do that anymore, but I think I'm still going to draw discard, discarding the Ichor Drinker. Better 3 drops to play here. And Ichor Drinker gives us value in the grave. Play Ayara or Invasion, depending on whether or not I hit a swamp. Kind of tempted to discard Assimilate Essence. That would have been super fine to discard here, because I guess we're not going to have a hard time holding up. We can have Meeting of Minds up later in the game. Cast Meeting of Minds if they don't try to cast something good, and Assimilate Essence if they do. Yeah, no, Assimilate Essence is actually really easy to hold up here. I don't need to Invasion of Amonkhet yet. Because now I get to do this, and if they play something good, I Assimilate Essence. If they don't, then I just flip a 2/2. And then the turn after this, I can do the same, holding 2 mana up, so I can Meeting of Minds or Assimilate Essence. Because I'll have the 2 creatures to convoke towards it. I'm going to let that resolve. I'm going to let them get the mana and then counter whatever they're using the mana for. I want to see how many colors they are here. Just blue, green, black, fair enough. No attacks. We flip the 2/2 then. Aetherblade Agent is the draw. 2 mana to play Agent, and then I can still hold up Cryptomancer, Assimilate Essence, or Meeting of Minds. Nice and flexible here. Invasion of Pyrulia. It's going to draw them a card, and if they flip it, get a 4/4 later. Just try to keep them from flipping it, I think. I think it's alright that we're spending some time thinking on if we want to counter these things or not, because it doesn't necessarily mean we have a counter spell. There's tons of instants in the format. It could honestly just be Meeting of Minds. So they're going to go for the flip on the Blight Reaper Thallid now. Pass the turn, let's Meeting of Minds. Halo Charged Scab is one of the draws. That's a great one. Play our own Invasion of Amonkhet. Just have us both run out some Invasion of Amonkhets here. That's kind of hilarious. I think Invasion of Amonkhet is good enough that if they try to cast that, I'll go ahead and get the counterspell out of the way now. Plus, we're running out of instant speed things to do. Elvish Vatkeeper, is that better than Invasion of Amonkhet? I can keep them from flipping the invasion, it is. The 5 mana to transform is going to give them a 4/4 off of this, and a 4/4 off of this. Yeah, any other incubation they get is going to get doubled up as well. We'll counter that. They are going to get to resolve their Invasion of Amonkhet. Which means whatever I put on top of my library with Halo Charge Scab is going to get milled. So I kind of don't want to play the Scab right now then. We'll play Ayara and hold up Cryptomancer first. Obviously we'll be discarding an island to the Invasion of Amonkhet. And Ayara does give us that instant flip on our invasion, which is excellent. We can play a scab, throw the scab at the invasion, turn the invasion into a scab. Or into a Vat Keeper. Oh my god, no, let's turn it into one of their Vat Keepers at this point. Yeah, that seems good. So, we're going to play Halo Charge Scab while holding up Cryptomancer. We're going to put Merciless Repurposing on top of our library. And then at instant speed, I can use Ayara to throw Halo Charge Scab at our invasion of Amonkhet to get an Elvish Vat Keeper that's a 4/4. Or now a Breeding Champion that's a 4/4 if we want. Deadly Derision on Ayara. Well, Cryptomancer that. Happily. Halo Forger's the play. They're going to recast Removal from Grave on Ayara here. Yep, recast Deadly Derision from Grave. Is there anything in a Grave that exiles something in Grave when it hits the board? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything I can do to like flip Invasion of Amonkhet and then stop them from casting that Deadly Derision. There's no other Halo Forgers in Grave or anything. No. But once they target Ayara, I can use Scab here on Invasion and still get the flip, even if Ayara is going to die. I think I do want a flyer now that they have Halo Forger. I'll pick up my Preening Champion. I guess this means I don't have C-double shenanigans anymore. I can still C-double Oracle of Tragedy, which works. Not as well as Halo Charge Scab C-double works, but I think good enough. Yeah, I need to keep them from flipping these, so I'll get the flyer there. Well, I guess I did just have a Merciless Repurposing coming up to get rid of this flyer anyway. Yeah, I'm a bit of a doofus. I'm just going to do that. Probably should have just gotten the Vat Keeper. Would have doubled up my Incubator. And given me more... Did I say gaven me? Can't speak English. Mutagen Connoisseur. Well, immediately hit another flyer. And another Vat Keeper? They have 3 Vat Keeper? Bots. Quick draft bots. You can't do this to me. Do you know how much I've sacrificed? I had a Monastery Mentor and a Wrath. I pivoted colors, and you're just gonna give my opponent 3 Vat Keepers? Well, there's the C-double. Our scabs are all in our graveyard, though, so I need to Oracle of Tragedy on it. They've got 8 cards in grave. But, I'm about to have some big Incubator tokens. They're all going to be 4/4s. Please tell me you top-decked a sweet spell for me to copy. Ooh. That's not that sweet. But I do think it's worth a cast to shuffle in Merciless Repurposing and a bunch of Halo Charge Scabs. C-double, repurposing, scab, scab. So they can flip that to kill my preening champion now, which is not ideal, because then their connoisseur is even bigger. But we can flip ours to kill their Elvish Vatkeeper to make their tokens smaller at least, which is good. Preening champions the draw? Well, it's another chump block on connoisseur. That thing's going to be, what, 4 power? Even if I kill Malady Invoker, it's going to be 3 power. 6 mana. I have 8 mana here. I can't actually flip the Instructor and play Preening Champion, so I let them flip a battle. I don't think I do. I think I play Preening Champion and get a chump in here. I feel like them flipping Invasion of Amonkhet is just, it's too deadly. Get another Vatkeeper or something. Worse, get Nyara. I can flip this at this point without losing life, so I may as well. If I don't block, they can flip both incubators and immediately flip Invasion of Amonkhet, so I'm gonna block. Dang it. Not what I wanted to see. Yeah, this connoisseur is gonna go the distance. I mean, if I invoke or Vatkeeper, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. They have enough to flip both the incubators anyway. Flip both, this is 4 power. I guess I could make Connoisseur just 3 power. So it takes 2 turns to flip a battle by killing Malady Invoker, getting rid of one of their double-faced cards. Keep this now, so if I get to where I get to chump block, I can draw and discard a card. Convert is going to pick up a Tidal Terror, so they can start attacking with 4 unblockable damage every turn. We hit a Temporal Cleansing, but they have a second Mutagen Connoisseur now. Guess I bounce the 4/4 unblockable. Let the Connoisseurs get in for 6 a turn. I'm at 28. They are going to redraw Invasion of Amonkhet, which means they're going to mill a lot. They're at 10, 9, 8. Then they'll mill 3 and draw, be at 4 cards in library. We could be on that mill plan if we can just hit a Scab, C-double. Any of those two can try to find the next one, chain into each other a bit. Flip Invasion of Pyrulia to buff the Mutagen Connoisseurs to 4 power and get another creature on their board. I think I have literally 1 land left in my deck now. Yeah, I have 1 single land left in these 12 now. So theoretically time to hit some gas, although they're just going to mill 3 non-lands. We're going to draw 3 lands into mill 3 non-lands. Yep, that's both Halo Charge Scabs. So much for C-Double then. Both Halo Charge Scabs and a removal spell. Obviously, I should have played that land there. I forgot they were gonna make me discard it off of the Invasion of Amonkhet. Yeah, I mean, now all my Halo Charge Scabs are gone. That was the main win con here. Of course. 4 cards in their library. No creatures on board mill when they hit the board. And just wait and see what they do here. C-Double could still find some way to get a mill victory. If they cast anything in their deck that can mill each player, which they've got Invasion of Amonkhet and stuff like that. Send in the 6/5 Flying Vigilance cards. Can produce my own, but I don't think that's going to be a winning plan. I die in 2 swings from them, though. They're down to 3 cards in library. Need to find a mill 3. I have to find an Invasion of Amonkhet. I have to just like shuffle it in off of an Oracle of Tragedy and top deck like a champion. Land, gain a life. Cast no spells. What is in my library right now? What are my 8 cards? Ichor Drinker, Expedition Lookout, Blight Reaper Thallid, Final Flourish, Meeting of Minds, Merciless Repurposing, Gloomfang Mauler. 1 or 2 outs in there because of Merciless Repurposing. And Final Flourish. I guess I just draw right now then. That is my last land. It's my literal final land. All 7 are non-land now. Now I have to C-Double a Connoisseur to not die. I guess I could C-Double an Herbology Instructor to gain 3, but that's still not getting any mill going on. Yeah, it's so frustrating to hit literally every land. Like anything else, at worst, I get to like double up a spell and also block for the turn. Now I die to Cryptomancer or removal. Alright, neither of those. 1 more draw step. Even Merciless Repurposing doesn't save us anymore, though. Yep. That's game. I don't know what else to say. We had a ton of outs we were working towards, but we draw 3 lands in the 3 lands in a row late in that game into they play the mill 3 card and mill both scabs and a Final Flourish. And then we draw our literal last land in the whole library when we needed an out. Yeah, there's some really bad draws late in that game. Our deck is usually really good at finding those C-Double grind out mill victories, and our opponent got themselves down to like 3 cards in library with very little mill from our side, and we just never got to do any of our mill stuff, really. Just all milled at an inopportune time from our opponent's Invasion of Amonkhet and stuff. Bummer. Well, draft is not open. Draft is not over. We've got 1 more shot at the final boss. See if we can get a victory in the second shot of the final round. Alright, here we are on the play for the final battle. We have an Ayara and a Preening Champion to play early, a C-double for later, and a Temporal Cleansing for interaction. The fashionably late Ichor Drinker strikes again. Turn 2, let's go. Blight Reaper Thallid, turn 2 from our opponent. Phenomenal card. Rather roll out a Preening Champion for Convoke stuff right now. So if they flip that Blight Reaper Thallid, I'm not going to do any combat with Ayara anyway. I don't really want to throw anything at their face yet with the sacrifice ability. Flip the Thallid, attack for 3, sure. Very happy to just crack back at you. Which I shall. Kind of cool with Temporal Cleansing on Thallid, but I like being mana efficient, dumping a lot of stuff out by going Ayara and Incubate here. Buff the Thallid, it's a 4/4. Now I'm mega happy to cleansing it next turn. They have found their second color. They are a black-white deck. They are going to Realm Breaker's Grasp Ayara, which is fine. Ayara can help convoke the cleansing. So we can go 2 mana to flip that, or 2 mana to play a 1/1 Death Touch. Let's get the 1/1 Death Touch out and cleansing away the Thallid on these two and our mana and hit for 3. I have C-double Cryptomancer for future turns. I don't have the second blue source for C-double yet. So for now it's just flip an Incubator and have a Cryptomancer up. But things are looking pretty great right now. They're down to 12. Here's a 2 mana 2/2. And a Gifted Completion, which does not block right now. Now I have the C-double. They only have 1 card engraved, though. It's not going to get the duplicate stuff up. It's 4 mana to flip this. I won't have the mana to do anything else. Don't really think I'm holding up a C-double right now. I could flip this Incubator and hit them harder. Lose the Aetherblade Agent to hit them for 5. Or keep the Aetherblade Agent. They're down to 7. There's a Deadly Derision on the Preening Champion. They can have the Treasure Token to flip the Incubator to have a 3/3 up on blocks. If I flip Aetherblade Agent, I kind of force them into trading with that, instead of blocking and killing the 2/2. Ooh, Gloomfang Mauler could be huge. Two mana away from it, though. Could C-double my Ayara during their end step. Start flinging my creatures at them. I think I'm pretty cool for the Aetherblade Agent flip turn here. They take 3 and I draw a card, or they take 2 and we kill their 3/3. Either way, we get rid of their treasure token here. Alright, sweet. They're down to 5. 3 cards in their graveyard. Invasion of Belenon, just get a 2/2 on board, that's fine. Scornblade Berserker makes it a 3/3 though, draws them a card. Multiple Berserkers is pretty nice. Preening Champion is an excellent draw. Yep, a flyer is kind of the nuts here. So we run that out instead of anything else. Might end up cycling the Mauler. Probably not. I'm just going to keep casting one spell per turn, even if I swap the Mauler out into being a swamp. Invasion of New Capenna. Yikes. The flyer is certainly gone then. Also have the Sunder the Gateway, but that can't kill tokens. It can only kill non-token artifacts. They can't kill our 2/2 with that. Their 3/3 does have Vigilance, which makes attacking past it pretty awkward, where we should probably just trade into it here. Meeting of Minds is not terrible. I'll hold up a C double for now so I can copycat what they do if I want. I'm going to copy a 2/2. Not really. Rather just draw 2 cards. I should have tapped some of those in case I hit another instant. Expedition Lookout, Oracle of Tragedy. They have 5 cards in their graveyard. Probably Oracle of Tragedy then, looking for land 7 for Mauler. Gloomfang Mauler will be how we try to close the game out. There is land 7. So we can drop a Gloomfang Mauler next turn for a huge attack. We can C-double whatever they do this turn, if it's any good. That's pretty good. I should have waited till they attacked and made a blocker at instant speed, but I couldn't resist. That was loose. Should have waited for attacks there from our opponent. We need a white source to flip this, unfortunately, which means it's not going to happen. Luckily, it's not going to happen for our opponent either. Because they're going to have to chump to not die with 2 of their creatures. They block it with everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They do kill it if they block with everybody. Wait, they lose 2 life less they pay 1. Oh, wait. So they're going to lose 2 life? Because they spend 1 for the first blocker, but the second blocker they lose 2, the third they lose 2. I think if I do this, because of Elesh Norn's ability that forces them to lose life, they die to that ability. Yeah, because they'll take 1 over there and they'll take 4 from dealing 2 damage to one of my creatures twice. I think Elesh Norn's ability kills them here. Yeah, they can spend the mana 1 time and then take 4. And I can just take all the damage because I'm at 18. Yep, alright. Could have played that out better, should have played that out better. Waited until they attacked to play the Elesh Norn, and then we would have firmly won the game, but still get there in the end. Really, really good work from C-Double. The double trouble, Team Rocket blasting off again. All that good stuff. Really the card of the deck, the MVP of the day. C-Double was incredible. Many of our victories off of the Halo Charge Scab C-Double combo, but even that victory without the Halo Charge Scab combo just stealing the Elesh Norn to lock out the game. Not stealing it, but getting our own copy. So here's another look at the deck again, if you want to take a peek at that. Overall, everything performed well. I think the biggest underperformers were probably Expedition Lookout, as we didn't have as much mill in this deck as most of these, where we weren't really having our opponents with 8 or more cards in their grave until we were already doing Halo Charge Scab C double shenanigans, where we don't even really need to attack them anyway. So Expedition Lookout was actually a lot worse in this deck than some of my other blue-black decks I played in the past. If you want to make Expedition Lookout work better, you want to have more copies of the 3 mana each player mills 3, then return 2 cards from grave to hand. More of those kind of cards as well earlier on the curve to really get them going. So that was probably the weakest of everything in the deck. Temporal Cleansing also felt a bit slow and early and weak, just didn't play as well as our Repurposing, our Flourishes, or our Assimilate Essence ended up playing. But that's about it. I think literally everything else showed up quite a few times and all got its own time to shine. Like, we attacked with unblockable Tidal Terrors sometimes, we dropped late game Gloomfang Maulers for backup counters sometimes, we Halo Charge Scab C doubled a lot, we Invasion of Amonkhetted to fill the grave, we Ayara'd to flip Invasion of Amonkhet, we Preening Champion into Convoke Spelled all the time, played a lot of Ichor Drinkers, cluttering up that early game, gaining us life, incubating. Got to do pretty much everything in the deck, countered a removal spell with Cryptomancer. Absolutely everything in the deck kind of got its time to shine, outside of the Lookout and Cleansing being a little more mediocre. But overall, excellent deck today. We'll take that 7-2 run and today's draft, 950 gems and 2 packs richer. Absolutely take that. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons very much for supporting this channel, and thank you for watching. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you more of these videos in your recommended feed. If you'd like to hang out with me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.